You seem uncomfortable. Do it make you nervous, Corky?
No.
Thirsty, maybe.
Curious, maybe.
That's funny. I'm feeling a little bit curious myself.
You will pod less than you desire and more than you deserve. You represent the rune of our art and our lives, and now you get to be a part of it, part of what we hope is our masterpiece. Welcome to Pleasers.
And Punishers.
Where we talk about movies that people love to watch.
Movies that ruin your today, tomorrow, and yesterday.
And all things kinky and queer.
I'm Caitlin of the North.
And I'm May. It's all part of the menu. Schultz.
And today we're discussing how eating Rolexes sounds really uncomfortable and might be a bit rich for our blood. That's right, everyone. We are talking about The Menu from 2022, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Ray Fiennes, Nicholas Hoult, and Hung Chow.
Sorry.
I know.
I love her so much.
Tortilla.
Tortillas delicioso.
Incredible. Directed by Mark Milad, written by Will Tracy and Seth Reese, with music by Colin Stetson, which May put in.
I love you, Colin Stetson.
Which I love it because you always will put that in, and I'm like...
Hey, look, as someone who really loves film scores, it's important for me to call them out when they're excellent, especially when they're made by some of my hometown heroes. Colin Stetson's a Chicago boy, and I am still pretty sure that when I saw him in a mausoleum last year, or maybe the year before, I can't remember when that was, it was the best concert I've ever been to in my life. Anyway, since it's Decadent December, we thought it would be a good idea to bring in a culinary collaborator, a Sue host, if you will. She's a gastro-horror expert, the Chattanooga Film Fest community manager, half of the Geeks Who Eat and Final Girls Feast podcasts, and the creator of the 100 Horror Movies in 92 Days challenge, Sarah Stubbs. Welcome, Sarah.
Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining
coming.
us. Yeah, and I love your Yes Chef shirt. It is
So,
incredible.
This shirt actually was given to me by the local Searchlight rep because he wanted me and my husband to wear them when we went to the screening. So
That's incredible.
So we definitely had our Yes Chef shirts, and God, I love this movie. This movie, the year it came out, I was so pumped for this movie. Like, you know, film critics and writers and stuff, they all bug their reps for like the big movies, you know, the superhero movies. Nope, there was me. So tell me, when is Searchlight going to do The Menu? So what are we doing from The Menu? Is The Menu doing anything? Like, are we going to do recipes? Do you want us to do? Like, I was pumped.
Well,
I was so beyond pumped.
I'm so glad you're here to talk about this with us, because there's a lot to talk about. But before we get into the plot of the movie, what's the most insufferable service job you've ever had?
I was a Subway sandwich artist.
Yep.
And that is the worst. I do not wish that on anybody. When I can respect when, you know, someone has food allergies, or when someone is a vegetarian and doesn't want you handling their bread with like meat and stuff. Typically that doesn't happen much anyway, but sometimes. But when you come and ask someone to change their gloves in the middle of a lunch rush when the line is out the door, maybe Subway wasn't where you wanted to eat lunch that day. Like,
Yeah.
like, I could tell you, I had some of the worst and craziest customers at Subway. Like, the training video,
imagine.
I will tell you that the training video back in the day, I don't know what it's like now, because this was when I was in high school and I'm 40-something. I'm 41 now. I'll admit it. I'm 41.
Me too!
And they told you to put 6 olives onto a 6-inch, or was it 6? No, 6. It was 6 olives per foot long. Like 6 counted out little slivers, and I'm like,
So
there
just
is
one
no
every 2
way
inches?
there is no way on earth that anybody who wants olives wants that.
No.
There's no way that anyone's going to do that during a lunch rush. I don't know. That was my worst job I ever had. The manager tried to make me come in on the day of prom when I had requested it off.
No.
And the weekend manager was like, she's not going to come in. She's got to go get her hair done. She's got to go get her nails done. It was my senior prom, too. Mm-hmm. The only dance I went to in high school, period.
The
and
audacity.
she was like, she's not going to come in. You better not schedule her.
Oh, gosh. Well, yeah.
Worst.
That might beat either of ours, but Caitlin, what's yours?
Well, I never had the temperament to do food service because there's too many ways to make that go horribly wrong. Mm-hmm. I did the work at a Petco.
Oh, God.
That was terrible. Because you're also dealing with people and their pets. Sometimes you would have people come in and like yell at you for keeping animals in cages. I got cornered by a woman in the bird room. She would come in like right before close, maybe like an hour before close. Consistently. We have people consistently do this. Consistently. And they called for like a supervisor, someone to the bird room. I'm sitting next to a supervisor who knows what's happening, does not warn me. I walk in, and I think this is a normal interaction with a person who is mentally okay in there, and I don't know well. And I had a parrot briefly when we were growing up for reasons. And so I know how to like handle birds. I don't really like to do it, but I know how to handle birds. And the woman's like, oh, I want to see the parrot. So I'm like, okay. I start to like make little noises and be like, come here. And she's like, no, stop. No, you're hurting it. You're freaking out. No, stop. Go to sleep, little bird. Go to sleep.
Oh
go
my
to sleep,
God.
little bird. Go to sleep. And I'm like, I'm going to die in this bird room. This is it for me. I don't know.
Oh, no.
And I made it out, obviously. And then she's just like, well, how would you feel if you were put in a cage and you could only eat if you did tricks? And I was like, well, we feed the birds. I'm also not a bird. I don't know what to say to you.
Wait, you're not a bird?
I know. Just a big old bird. I had a woman there rip up a check and throw it at me because none of her cards were going through. Then her check didn't go through.
And of course, that's your fault.
Yeah, and just like, some people would bring in their animals and like ask us vet advice, or like they'd be like bleeding and we're like, please leave. Like, why is your animal who's bleeding on the floor? It was not a good job. We were also not trained very well.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine so.
I kept telling people, just put your fish in regular water. That's fine.
Yeah,
So-
I will say that I when I was in my like late teens, early 20s, I was really big into like exotic pets. And I just remember at Petco being like, y'all shouldn't be keeping your snakes like this. Like, y'all shouldn't be like, our Petco literally had
good.
like blue cobalt tarantulas. And I'm like, they're aggressive. Like, I'm like, those are not for like, tarantulas themselves are not for, like, newbie hobbyists. Like,
Right.
Like, they're hard to keep. So, same with hermit crabs, believe it or not, which everybody wants to tell people that hermit crabs are a great beginner pet. And I'm like, no, they're not. No. Nuh-uh. Nah.
One time, like, a gecko got out, and and that's a whole thing. And then it got on me, which is fine. So I go to grab it, and then my hand and there's just a tail
Oh, gosh.
in my hand, and I'm like, what am I doing here? I ended up going back to my job at Hollywood Video after 3 months. It is the only job I've quit without notice. They had these overnight shifts that you would just throw freight from like close until 4 a.m. So you get all of the freight, everything that was coming into the store for the week, and you would just sort through it. And I I was not in a good relationship at the time, and he was very, very controlling, and me not being at home at night was a huge fucking problem. So I asked not to be scheduled for that shift anymore, and the next time I was scheduled for it is like, I'm not coming in. I had already had my manager at Hollywood Video be like,
Walmart
come back.
briefly, and it doesn't even sound that bad. Like,
it was wild times. 90 days, and I have just stories to last a lifetime. I have more of them.
I think mine is probably the first not working for my dad job that I had. I was a freshman in high school, and I started working at this little bakery that a few other people in high school that I knew worked at after school a couple days a week. It was called Three Tarts. I believe it still exists over in Northfield, Illinois. And one of the owners was a lesbian, and she and both of the other owners absolutely hated me, and I could never figure out why. I don't know if it was because, at the time I was presenting Mask, and I had my nails painted, and they just didn't like a queer quote unquote dude working in their store, or what. I don't know what it was, but they were awful to me. And the customers were even worse. I mean, just the worst of the Chicago North Shore area. People were so rude constantly, berating me for things that I had absolutely no control over. And what really took the cake, pun intended, was when a woman came in and wanted to see the cake she had special ordered. And when she leaned forward, the gigantic, gaudy cross that she was wearing around her neck. And when I say gigantic, I mean it was almost the size of her face. Went into the cake and fucked it up. And she started screaming at me as if it was my fault. So
were you supposed to put your hands out and catch it before it landed in the cake?
She probably would have thought I was trying to cop a feel and
That's
also screamed at me.
Right.
So
there was no winning.
Listeners, if you've never worked a service industry job, just know they're not fun 90% of the time, maybe 99% of the time. But things that are fun, role play.
Is that your bathing suit? Is that your overbite?
Now, one of you will be the drowning victim, and the other one gets to be our lifesaver.
I'll be the victim. All your life.
Wow, that was a sloppy-ass transition. I am so sorry.
I was going to say, I felt like that was actually a solid segue, but that's just me.
Okay. All right, I'm going to tell you what happens in the menu. Anya Taylor-Joy's Margot and Nicholas Holt's Tyler argue about cigarettes ruining the palate as they await the boat that will take them and several others to Hawthorne Island, where they will eat at a restaurant that costs $1,250 a person.
I have absolutely had someone, like a rando, comment on what I was eating and was like, oh my God, that looks like a heart attack. And I was like, well, at least I'll die happy.
Excellent.
How dare you?
Yeah.
I would just like to say that this is one of my husband's favorite parts of the movie, because every time Nicholas Hoult talks about mouthfeel, he just loses his mind.
Yeah,
and
I hate that word so much.
It's only to be topped
Mouthfeel.
by Nicholas Hoult talking about bergamot. Which is later. But those two parts, that's like my husband, like when he watches the movie, that's like what he's waiting for. He's like bated breath, like leaning forward, like, oh, he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it.
It's like when you have a favorite part in a song and you like get goosebumps leading up to it, and then it happens and you feel that like beautiful catharsis. Same kind of thing. Their fellow diners include an older man that Margot recognizes and his wife, Lillian Bloom, the food critic, and her. I've never been able to figure out if this guy is an assistant or an editor or what, but he's there with her. John Leguizamo, basically playing Steven Seagal.
Right. Definitely not Steven Seagal.
And his assistant, and three finance bros, one of whom is played by Jaime from Broad City, who I absolutely love. As they arrive on the island, Hong Chau's Elsa is thrown because Margot was not Tyler's original guest. Everyone is taken on a tour of the beautiful 12-acre island as Elsa details their processes. Chef holds himself to the highest standard, and so does everyone else who works and lives on the island.
That's also the scene where there's the first bit of foreshadowing as to what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
In the restaurant, a gaggle of chefs in the kitchen work furiously. Tyler is forbidden from taking photos, which he will later repeatedly ignore.
Motherfucker. Sorry. Oh, yeah.
And Chef Julian Slowick, played by Ray Fiennes, makes an appearance. The amuse-bouche is served, and we learn that pretty much everyone here is an asshole, especially Tyler. The first course comes after a loud clap and a speech from Chef Slowick, who is also an asshole, as evidenced by the second course, a breadless bread plate that contains only savory accompaniments. Look, as someone with a lot of food aversions who spent a lot of time in restaurants as a kid eating almost nothing but bread, depending on the restaurant, this would have destroyed me. I would have been in tears. Like, can I please just have my bread?
I'm gonna offer this up. If you have that many food aversions, I'm gonna guess you're not going to spend $1,250 on a restaurant in which you have no control over the menu.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wouldn't even spend $100 on a meal.
That's like so exactly.
Yeah, no, exactly. I just love bread. You know, I'm Oprah. I love bread.
I would have been stoked because I have a wheat intolerance and I love sauces. Like, I love sauces.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would not have been so angry about this, but that's also because I'm a weirdo.
I don't have to ask for any special accommodations. I love this.
You might, though, because that kitchen was not a gluten-free environment.
Oh, no, it was not.
And they did store all the bread that they were supposed to be eating.
Lillian complains about a broken emulsion and is sarcastically brought a giant bowl of it. The finance bros argue about the lack of bread and pull the "you know who we are" card. Tyler continues to talk down to Margot and breaks a wine glass as he takes her untouched plate, and Chef Slowick engages her in a battle of wits.
Is this did juice just like snap at me moment?
No, that's
later.
This one? That's later. Yeah, we'll talk about that. The third course is an upscale version of Taco Tuesday, which includes a story about Chef Slowick stabbing his father with scissors to rescue his mother from his abuse, and his mother is present at the restaurant through all of this, just hanging out in her casual outfit, drinking glass after glass of wine, and tortillas with the diner's... Tortillas with the diner's various crimes laser engraved onto them.
2 fun facts. I actually have recreated that memory chicken recipe. Like, we did it for Geeks Who Eat. We took photos and everything. I even made the telephone cord plate.
That's incredible.
And those tortillas that they did in the film were actually laser engraved. And I don't remember if it was on Twitter prior to the Exodus, because I haven't been there in a year, or if it was on Blue Sky. I can't remember where. But I actually talked to the person who did them. And
nice.
They told me that they were all laser engraved and made for the film.
That's fucking incredible.
We did Photoshop on ours.
Okay.
We put our logo on them, which was hilarious.
I love that. Honestly, they looked like really good tortillas. They really did. I love a simple taco. If you gave me chicken al pastor and a homemade masa tortilla, I would be in heaven.
I live in Arizona, so I am blessed that I get to eat good Mexican food often.
Excellent.
It is the best. It is pretty much the only reason to live in Arizona, aside from gorgeous winter views.
Fair. Tyler literally snaps at Margot and calls her a child, claims he can talk to her any way he wants because he's the one paying, and she departs for the restroom to smoke. Caitlin, did you have something?
Oh, just this moment. I want to slap him so hard across the face.
So we'll come to learn more about their relationship later, but like, regardless of what their relationship to one another is, you do not talk to people
Not talk
like
to someone
this.
like that.
It is
Do not.
like,
If my
Jesus
husband
fucking
ever
Christ.
snapped at me, I would slap him. Like, he would get slapped so hard. I don't think that, like, I'm not a physical violence unless it's consensual kind of person.
Same.
But I would absolutely slap him for snapping at me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that
no.
calling you a child in a public anywhere, but in a public space as well, that is specifically meant to like demean you and put you in a place. It's just like,
And the fact that it doesn't even break his concentration for preparing and eating his taco, and then he's immediately like, oh my God, this is amazing, you have to try it. As if he didn't just deeply offend her. Like, fuck you, dude. I love Nicholas Hoult. I've loved him for
my
a
God, I
long
love him
time.
so much.
And it is amazing to see him play such a piece of shit. Chef Slowick comes into the bathroom to question Margot about why she isn't eating and tells her that she shouldn't be there tonight. The fourth course, The Mess, created by sous chef Jeremy Loudon, begins with Jeremy shooting himself in the head. Everyone freaks out except Tyler and Lillian, and the older gentleman, Mr. Leibrandt, attempts to leave, but gets his ring finger cut off by one of the chefs.
this is the reality they're living in. It's just theater.
Yeah,
Of course, nothing weird here.
this moment is really where things take a dramatic turn that I don't watch movie trailers. I've talked about that a million times. I had no idea this was coming. None
wait,
whatsoever.
was this the first time you had seen this?
No.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like,
yeah. No, I've after we do the synopsis, I'll ask everyone about their relationship with the film. But no, this was definitely not the first time I've seen this. I just, this moment gets me every time because it really feels so unexpected, but it also makes sense. Okay. Chef Slowick asks Margot if she's on the side of the diners or the workers and gives her 15 minutes to decide, even setting a kitchen timer.
Choose a side.
I have that timer, by the way. I bought it on Amazon.
Beautiful.
Because I had to. When the movie came out, I had to.
Of course. It's a very aesthetically pleasing timer.
It really is. I don't use it because I use my microwave as a timer because it's easier. But I do keep it in the kitchen.
I almost never time things in the kitchen. I just kind of cook by instinct, which 95% of the time works out in my favor. Every now and then I burn a frozen pizza, but that's about it. Ask my bestie Erica about that and the extreme disappointment that she experienced at me burning her frozen pizza. He tells his fellow chefs that he loves them, and they all respond in unison that they love him too. It's definitely not creepy at all.
Or culty in the slightest.
They don't sound like the Borg. As the diners all try to negotiate, Chef Slowick shames them for various actions. Lillian has brought another giant bowl of broken emulsion, and Doug Varick, the angel investor of the restaurant, is shown to be hanging over the ocean in a pair of angel wings.
Oh, so that just...
He's slowly lowered into the water just before Margot's timer dings.
It's there are no substitutions at Hawthorne! It's just...
It's so good.
I want to just like... Yes. Perfect.
I'm just itching for my hot take. I'm itching for my hot take right now.
Margot goes to speak with Chef Slowick in his office, and we discover that she is a sex worker who used to enjoy providing her services, just as Slowick used to enjoy providing his. Everyone heads outside for the introduction to the next course, Man's Folly, presented by sous chef Catherine Keller. She details Slowick's misogynistic behavior toward her before stabbing him in the thigh with a pair of scissors and spreading his blood across his chef's jacket. The male guests are all compelled to attempt escape before they are all captured one by one. And the 4 ladies re-enter the restaurant with Catherine for the Dungeness crab dish. And we find out that it was her idea for everyone to die.
She's really proud of that idea. Mm-hmm. I also loved, like, just Tyler not wanting to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like, I'm special.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Doesn't want to miss a minute of it.
I feel like Tyler resigned himself by this point to what the ending is going to be, and he doesn't want to miss the meal. Like, if this is your last meal, don't you want it all?
Right. Margot confesses that she is actually Erin from Massachusetts, not Margot from Nebraska. Just before all the men are corralled back inside, more secrets are revealed, and we find out that Tyler knew that everyone was going to die. So Margot/Erin climbs across the table and punches him in the face.
Good for her.
When I saw this the first time in the theater, which I'll talk more about later, this was a moment where, like, everyone in the audience was like, yeah! It was great. While everyone watches, Tyler is given a chef's jacket and quickly, chaotically, cooks a dish, which a title card calls Tyler's Bullshit. Slowick tastes it, declares it quite bad, and spits it out. He berates Tyler for draining the mystery from the art of cooking, then whispers something into his ear so devastating that Tyler proceeds to leave the kitchen and hang himself.
The actual description of that meal, in case anybody is curious, is undercooked lamb, inedible shallot leek butter sauce, and an utter lack of cohesion.
This scene is, like, cathartic and uncomfortable at the same time.
This is the ultimate FU to Yelpers who think that they are hot shit for being on Yelp.
Yep.
Like,
As someone who does a lot of cooking for other people, I learned a long time ago to take my time. I'm not cooking in a restaurant. No one's going to be mad at me if things aren't all ready at exactly the same time. I'm fine with people hanging out with me while I cook. The one thing that I never do is rush, because when you try to rush cooking, if you are not a professional chef, you're gonna fuck it up. And that's exactly what Tyler does. And, like, we don't know. We don't know if he would have cooked a halfway decent dish if he didn't try to rush through it, but I kind of doubt it.
I don't think
feel
so
like
either.
he's never cooked.
The point with him is that he knows all the buzzwords and he knows all the, like, what he's eating, but he himself doesn't come from a place of judgment realistically, because he doesn't know how to do any of it. He just likes to talk about gadgets and how he has a Paco jet and
Yeah, as a femme presenting person who works with tech, I am very used to Tyler's bullshit. I get Tyler's bullshit all the fucking time. And I was just like, yes. Having someone try to explain to you, like, your software, you're like, cool. Please go away now.
I used to do a lot of restaurant coverage with my food blog, and so I used to go to, like, the media events. I know those people. Like, I know the Tylers, and it's just like, ooh, they're everywhere.
People like that are just insufferable. Slowick claims that Elsa forgot to assign someone to fetch a barrel needed for dessert, and tasks Margot with retrieving it from the smokehouse. She takes this opportunity to break into Slowick's house, where there is a perfect recreation of the restaurant's kitchen and dining room. And I love her reaction to this, where she's basically like, wow, what a fucking weirdo. Like, yeah, of course this is what the inside of his fucking house looks like. She and Elsa tussle, resulting in the latter's death, and Margot enters Slowick's forbidden office, which chronicles his accomplishments, but also shows his clear displeasure at how his life has gone. The only happy picture is of him cooking a burger.
Like, you can just see the joy and soul being sucked out of him as each Gets
and his
further and
family,
further away.
he loses his like there's the losing his family because he's got the family photo, but then it's him with his angel investor only,
Right.
like, and then there's no other family mention.
Yep. Margot finds a radio and calls for the Coast Guard, but the man who arrives is actually one of the chefs, and it was all a ruse. As dessert is prepared, Margot requests a good old-fashioned cheeseburger, which Chef Slowick makes with a smile on his face. But she's too full after one bite and requests it to go, which he surprisingly allows. The diners are given their bills and gift bags, which include house-made granola and one of Doug Varick's fingers. Each person is fitted with a marshmallow cowl and a chocolate hat, the tables and floor decorated in intricate patterns of sauce and flammable liquids. At Slowick's urging, they embrace the flame, and everyone burns as Margot watches from the deck of a boat, finishing her delicious meal and wiping her mouth with the menu. Okay, so tell me, I have a feeling I know part of the answer to this question, but tell me, Sarah, what is your experience with the first time you saw this movie?
Well, I saw a screening of it, so I was pumped. I like the build up for this movie for me was insane. I was so excited to see it. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite gastro-horror movies to date, and I just remember being so excited, and we were sitting in the lobby, and my husband and I were wearing our Yes Chef shirts, and we were at the movie theater bar waiting for it to start, and the bartender's like, "Are you guys chefs?" And we're like, no, we don't do this professionally. We just have a food blog. But getting to see this film, I feel like when you have that food content creator, restaurant, like whatever your relationship to the food industry is, you get it. Like everybody in this, I was like, oh, I kind of know someone like that. Or, oh, like I recognize this behavior in the kitchen. And so there's like this closeness about it. And I feel like every time I've subsequently watched it, I notice more, I like it more, and I become more emotionally invested in it.
Mm-hmm.
This last time I watched it, this was the first time I ever cried.
Oh.
And I was just like, why am I so emotional over this? And so I really, this movie, like, I have earrings. My husband and I made me earrings that are the little memory chicken, but out of like polymer clay and like a scissor charm and like,
that's so cute.
I went crazy for this movie. This movie was like my whole personality for like a good month.
Hey, as long as you didn't light a bunch of people on fire. Although if it was these people, I'd give it a pass.
I mean, I feel like if I'm going to commit gastro-homicide, I'm really going to go with something a little bit less obvious than a fire.
Yeah,
that's just
fair.
me.
Also, we didn't talk about this, but I love the part where John Leguizamo is trying to argue for his assistant, and Slowick is like, "What school did you go to? Brown? Student loans? No? Sorry, you're dying."
You're dying.
So good. All right, what about you, Caitlin?
I don't think I had seen a trailer or anything from this, but I saw this on Thanksgiving, the year it came out. We saw it after Thanksgiving dinner because it was my partner and I had been at a conference for work, so we'd been out of town and came back, and it was really close to Thanksgiving, and we're just tired and didn't even feel like having the energy to like go to someone else's house to do anything at that point. So we just went to a restaurant, and I was like, we're going to go watch this Eat the Rich Cannibal movie. Because I hadn't seen a trailer or apparently knew anything about it. But I knew we were eating.
I'll say, before I actually watched it, I also thought there was going to be cannibalism in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was pretty convinced even seeing the trailer. I was like, there's going to be some sort of cannibalism. So right? I get that vibe.
And so when there was, I mean, I was not disappointed because I loved this. The commentary that was woven through, like, really spoke to me. Again, as we're talking about, like, service industry, except for maybe this one, it's all been customer service jobs, since they allowed me to work. And
Since I was out of diapers and they let me get a work permit.
Please, sir. Get the black lung. Again, that student loan line. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure exactly how many people were in our theater because this was like 2022. So since movie theaters have not been doing as well. And this was kind of prime that we're all coming out of quarantine, pandemic. But that like student loan line, I'm not sure if I was the only one who screamed and clapped, but I feel like if anyone else was there, they also had a very excellent reaction because that is, I feel like this movie, and I just like hit me in my elder millennial poor guts, like entering work at like a terrible recession, no jobs, being so far behind on being able to like claw up for, retirement. What's that? Never gonna happen. Good luck, kids. Working for like minimum wage and having to pay $100 a paycheck, but only doing like 29 hours a week. So minimum wage, which at least in it was $7.35 at that time. I just worked at a couple places that was like $10.50, which was very exciting in, 2008. Oh. And I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of like that stereotype of super liberal, real pissed off about things, overeducated, couldn't get a job, had stupid student loan debt, and was like, did like Occupy Wall Street things. Like this movie, I was like, fuck yes, I am here. We are eating the rich. Let's go.
Yeah, I think this movie plays really well in a theater. And my first viewing was November 19th, 2022. So I don't remember if that was opening weekend, but it was pretty close to it. And
it was opening weekend because it opened on the 18th.
Excellent. Nice. So everyone in my theater was on the same page, and we were all having such a great time. And I think that's one of the things I love about this movie and why I keep coming back to it. So watching it for this recording was my 5th or 6th time. I feel like there's one that I forgot to log somewhere in there. But I've watched this a bunch of times, and I love it every time. And like you said, Sarah, I get a little more out of it each time. And it maintains a level of fun despite its inherent darkness and the like sinister atmosphere that it cultivates. It still manages to be fun, funny. It has excellent pacing. And even the characters that you hate, you're enjoying spending time with them because you're like, what dumb fucking thing are they going to say or do next that is going to make me just drop my jaw? And I find that delightful. I
have a suggestion if y'all haven't done it.
Okay.
After watching this movie, eat a cheeseburger. We did that after we saw it in the theater. Mm-hmm. Like the first time we ever saw it, we went, there's a place here in Arizona called the Chuck Box. And it is a burger joint where they cook all the burgers on a flat top. It has been in Tempe for like 50 years. Nice. They serve their food on paper plates. Like excellent. It is a dive and a half. We went there after and got cheeseburgers, and I've never felt better about my life than I did in that moment. Like eating a delicious, like I was like Margot. I was like, yes, the cheeseburger. Mm-hmm. And there is nothing special about this cheeseburger. I'm telling you. They serve it to you open face so that you can go to their toppings bar and put whatever little mayo, and it's only plain toppings. Like it's
that's what
ketchup,
I want.
Mustard, mayo, onion, lettuce, tomato. That's it.
I want ketchup and tomato on my cheeseburger. That's it. Don't put anything else on there.
I tell you, after doing that, I was like, this is it. This is the life. Yes.
I was looking at a few friends' reviews of this, and the last time my bestie Erica watched it, her review is, I ate Taco Bell while I watched this.
No! Or do it at what makes you happy.
I mean, there's a taco scene. I could see it. Mm-hmm. It's
okay. So got a couple questions before we move on. What is the fanciest place you've eaten, and what is the worst place you've eaten?
I will say the fanciest place I've eaten was when I was 13, and I ate at Thomas Keller's French Laundry, which is a James Beard award-winning restaurant. Like, my sister took me on a trip up the coast. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be her boyfriend on this trip, but they separated, so I got to have the benefits of going up the coast of California, eating at all the fancy restaurants.
Well, hey, at least she didn't knowingly bring you to a restaurant where you were going to die at the end of the night.
Mm-hmm. This is true. But I will say that at 13, I probably did not appreciate it as much as I would if I went now. Mm-hmm. But it did give me the appreciation for food as like a whole. So like that was like a really formative experience for me. Mm-hmm. But the French Laundry was like the first time I had ever gone anywhere that had like a prefix menu and like, you know, that was that upscale. Like the only thing I could drink on the whole ass menu was water. Mm-hmm. Like kind of restaurant. And Thomas Keller did the design of the Ratatouille in the Pixar movie. Like that style of Ratatouille, which is not how normal Ratatouille is. That was like his design.
Oh.
And so that's how famous Thomas Keller is, like bigwig.
And what's the worst restaurant you've ever eaten at?
There have been restaurants where I'm like disappointed because it should have been good. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know. Like, I feel like define worst, because like bad experience. Did I have bad service? Like, I've been to like plenty of places where the service was just like terrible and we waited. I can say one. We went to a restaurant. We went to a restaurant here when we were doing food blog coverage, and it was like a media kind of like friends and family night, and it was a fancy ass restaurant in like a hotel, and they did not have their shit together, and we sat there for like 3 hours.
Oh God.
And that was, the food was fine, but because we sat there waiting for so long,
it was a
terrible experience. And we never went back to go see what they were like, because it was just like, it put such a bad taste in our mouth that we were like, Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's last year Christmas, because there's a few places around that are open every day, 24 hours a day, which in Seattle is not common. So I should also put that out. People be like that. Yeah, that's everywhere. No, it's not.
No, not in Arizona.
Yeah. He was so mad that we were like at the restaurant. And it's like, I get it. I've had to work on Christmas. I've had to work on holidays like a lot. I've worked at a hotel. I worked at a Hollywood Video was open $3.75. I don't know. I worked at a tourist attraction that was open at $3.75. So like I've worked at a lot of places that were always open. And this guy was so mad to be there. He like wouldn't even make eye contact with us.
Wow.
Oof.
He only recently got fired, too, I found out. I'm like, are you kidding me? For being rude to customers, you don't say.
No, really?
Okay, but what about your best meal, Caitlin? Or, sorry, what's the fanciest place you've ever eaten?
As I said last episode, I have been to a few Michelin star restaurants at this point in my life. They've all been out of the country. It's funny because I contain multitudes, but my partner is he really likes a deal. And so at one point when we weren't just making $10 an hour anymore, he likes to look for the least expensive flights. He likes to build up, like, we're going to use points for this and this. And he has like a whole thing he does. I don't understand it because I'm like, just pay the price. I don't know. And so we've been able to travel a lot, and also we don't have children, so we've had some luxuries that we have been able, I like luxuries, that we have been able to travel, and went to a place on his birthday in Copenhagen, which was this was pre-pandemic, so I think this is like 2018, but it's still kind of, I didn't feel like it was fancy, but it might be the most I've ever paid for a meal. It was a lot like this so the culinary like mysteries happening. But
Gastronomy.
Yes, the gastronomy.
The molecular gastronomy. You
Yes,
probably ate a lot of
thank you.
agar-agar.
Right, yes. A lot of algae. I mean, I love some algae.
Agar just sounds like a band name to me.
Agar. For my 40th birthday, we went to Taiwan, and the food there is just cuckoo banana pants, bonkers, delicious. For my birthday dinner, we were at like this really high up. This place did not have a Michelin star. Taiwan's wild because they have like bib gourmand food trucks or carts, like night markets. Like you'll just go up. Like the food quality is excellent. And the price relative is like the lowest price food relative to their cost of living as well. So
Nice.
It's not like you're going to a place that's also people aren't making any money and the food's really cheap. And you're like, hey, I got this thing that's so little. It's like I'm not entirely sure what it is, but relatively that is what I was told recently. And it was a prefix. I wanted to do a prefix. There are 2 different kinds. It's very exciting. I had a sea cucumber. Little like sea cucumber animal, and it was one of the best things I've ever eaten.
I don't think I realized you could eat sea cucumbers.
As I said last time, a lot of just, outside of our own general anything that we would be eating in the United States. And that place was very lovely. I think it's the only place I've gotten a gift bag. Again, it was my birthday, so it might have had something to do with it. And I will also say in Taiwan, they're always giving you like free presents when you go and buy things.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't really eaten a lot of fancy meals, obviously. I don't like going to fancy restaurants because it's wasted on me if I'm going to be asking for changes, substitutions. I don't want to piss anyone off,
No substitution.
No substitution.
Look, I want the meal that I want so that I can enjoy it. And I'm not going to go to a place that's $100 or more a plate and ask for them to customize things. I like to keep it simple. I have gone out for a lot of fancy drinks. I don't really
Craft
drink.
cocktails are so fun.
Yeah, I don't drink much these days, but I will still go for a really nice craft cocktail. There's a tiki bar in Chicago called 3 Dots and a Dash that I absolutely love. And they actually have really good food. They have this Thai fried chicken and a peanut sauce that you can dip it in that is like one of the best things I've ever had in my mouth. Their drinks are always incredible. I've been to a few other fancy cocktail places. I went to the Violet Hour, and I feel like there's one other place I went to here. Can't remember. But, nothing too crazy. But the worst place I've ever eaten, and I only ate there once, was Bennigan's. I have no problem with big chain restaurants. They give people jobs. Sometimes their food is good. I genuinely used to love going to TGI Fridays. They had pretty good food and really good desserts. But Bennigan's, oh my God, I don't know what the hell they did to this chicken breast, but it had one of the worst textures I've ever eaten. Something inside of it squirted into my mouth. And it didn't say anything about it being stuffed with anything. So I don't know what it was, which of course made me gag, and I had to run to the bathroom and throw up. And the whole experience was absolutely awful. And my mother, who is no longer a part of my life, she was always such a fucking Karen, especially in restaurants. She would talk down to waitstaff and just be so fucking rude. And I was mortified because I'm this is a person. Why are you talking to a person this way? So her trying to get a refund for the dish, it's I don't care about a fucking refund. I just want to eat something that's not going to be disgusting. So yeah, I never went to Bennigan's again.
Yeah, I was going to say there was a place I'm just going to say recent memories. Worst place. There is a gigantic, it's called Tom's Watch Bar. And it has thousands of, probably not thousands, hundreds of TVs where you can watch sports, any sport at any given time during the day.
Overwhelming.
That used to be my job, was putting TVs in places like that. So,
and it's a Vegas space, or like it's originally from Vegas, so they opened a spot up by our arena here, and it is terrible. Like it's kind of wild because the staff is super nice, but the food is bad. At one point, they advertised like, "Oh, we have the largest." My partner gets really into like, "Why are you saying this is the largest chicken wing?" For like the largest wing or something. It is a regular sized wing. It is a small regular sized wing, but they're like, "This is the largest chicken wing in North America," or whatever it is. It's like, well, that's just lies now. Now you're lying to me, and the food isn't good, and you are taking away a lot of business from local businesses. And so, no, thank you.
Well, speaking of lies, let's discuss the film's context in our next section, Faith and Chance.
I can't exist by myself because I'm afraid of myself, because I'm the maker of my own evil. Goodness is only some kind of reflection upon evil. That's all it is.
Caitlin, take me away.
It's funny because obviously Sarah is here and will have a lot to say about gastro-horror. I was going more of like other kind of what else was going on with food TV and how big that started to become. I feel like particularly like during the pandemic and quarantine where people are stuck at home. Like it had,
all the stuff that Guy Fieri did to like keep shows
to us.
Look,
no, I'm kidding.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
I love Guy Fieri, and I will defend him until I die. All the stuff that he did to not only help keep restaurants running, but also keep giving people places to talk about their restaurants and make food, like keeping his shows going. I think that was all really wonderful. And like I spent most of the pandemic just mainlining Food Network stuff. So yeah, you're right. There was a huge uptick in food show consumption because of the pandemic.
I mean, how many people decided to make their own bread for the first time? It was
so many.
So much
almost
sourdough.
As many people as realized they were gay and or trans.
You know, it was a time of new beginnings. Some of that included sourdough.
We all had time to ferment, I guess.
Yes.
Didn't.
We're already coming off it like with streaming, just that content creation on top of cooking shows already being very popular. Like the Food Network starting off though as more like, you know, cooking shows, and then the shift, and I remember this from watching Top Chef a lot, is women in restaurants. And the inherent sexism.
Oh yeah. I had that as a mention elsewhere in my notes because it definitely.
Oh, don't worry.
Yes.
I got a question about it.
Oh yeah.
This like women's cooking versus like chef kind of thing. And obviously, well, that is weaved into this story, but also with the content that we consume as people who are watching these shows that tend to skew very heavily male when you start to get into like the gastronomy of it all, just by the inherent power imbalances that happen. I think I've talked about in Japan, like there's this idea that women can't be sushi chefs because their hands are too warm. So they're going to ruin the fish.
Interesting.
And
not like they could wear gloves or
anything.
What like that.
Probably sure. Yeah. This all kind of, I feel like, culminating in quarantine pandemic. And I just have to say, it blows my mind that The Bear premiered 3 months before The Menu as a show about cooking that suddenly got people really into it as well. Having the menu coincide with the bear and just people now yelling "Yes, chef" at each other for no reason.
Oh, I'm sure that unlocked kinks for a lot of people.
Sorry. I was going to say me. No, something came up recently on this weekend.
I'm just going to sip my water and I'm going to...
Yes, absolutely. And as we have the gastro-horror expert here, I have a note that says this is kind of a big year for that.
It really, 2022 was wild for gastro-horror. I don't know. I really need to, compare. I feel like I need to compare. But for whatever reason, this year seemed to be, the more mainstream. It was less of, I'm going to say this gracefully because I enjoy good trash. But, it seemed less, not just to be trash, which is usually where kind of gastro-horror... Gastro-horror is usually kind of schlocky and usually just straight to streaming. And yes, there were movies here that were straight to streaming. But this was also the year we had Bones and All, Flux Gourmet, Family Dinner, Fresh, Peppergrass, Do Not Disturb, and then there were some schlocky stuff. You had Human Hibachi 2 and Eating Miss Campbell, Mad Heidi, which Mad Heidi is a banger that no one talks about. It's got Casper Van Dien in it, and he's a cheese fascist.
What?
A cheese fascist?
They're basically cheese Nazis, and they force everyone to eat cheese, and if you don't, if you're lactose intolerant, you get killed. And it's called Mad Heidi. It is the most bonkers movie ever, but it is very funny. But, this was, the first, year where it was, gastro-horror was kind of, popular. This was, people were really oh, we're gonna have big actors in this. You had Sebastian Stan doing Fresh and, The Menu with Ralph Fiennes. And you had Timmy Chardonay doing Bones and All. And I think Sheree calls him that, and ever since, that is all I can ever think of. I'm not that creative. Props to Sheree for having that, because now Timmy Chardonay is all I will ever refer to him as.
Same.
But, you have these, and not only are they mainstream, but they're beautiful. These beautifully shot films. And so I think that... Also, 2022 had one of my favorite found footage movies called The Andy Baker Tape, which
I need to add that to my
literally
list.
a food blogger influencer trying to get on the Food Network, and shenanigans arise. It's a banger of a movie.
Is it horror?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's a good one.
We talked earlier about how much I love shot on video horror. I also love found footage.
Me too. And Andy Baker Tape was what taught me about Taylor Ham pork roll out of New Jersey. And depending on what part of New Jersey you in, you call it Taylor ham or pork roll. And we have a bagel place down the street from us that is clearly New Jersey people, because they call it Taylor ham. And they have it, and I tried it, and it's amazing.
Excellent.
But yeah, so 2022 was this big gastro horror in the forefront. And now you're seeing it a little bit more, which I get very excited about. But I was very excited in 2022. I even made a letterbox list that year because there was so much of it. And I was like, oh, it's the year of it. Fresh is also really fantastic, by the way.
I've still never seen it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Guess we'll have to cover it.
Oh, you know.
Oh, Sebastian Stan. I can't even say what I want to say because it will spoil the movie.
Okay.
But just know that Sebastian Stan is chef's kiss, literally and figuratively, in that movie.
Part of me feels like people were... Well, and I know that Will Tracy, who... And this kind of goes into, socio-political, what else was happening... Him and Seth Reese were writers for The Onion.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Editors? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Will Tracy definitely
I've been reading
wrote
The
for,
Onion since it was like a actual physical newspaper. Like when I was 8. Because I'm a fucking dork.
Have a little newspaper, got your little glasses on, just open it up, see what the day has for me. At least it's funny that way. Yeah, so, and Will Tracy used to write for Last Week Tonight, John Oliver. So I feel like that also, I was like, okay, I'm picking up like
commentary
incisive. Mm-hmm. You know, as a writer, he's making some amount of money. But you're coming from a lower financial status in a lot of ways, you know, than an actor might be. And then you also have to be very, very well known also to get to the level like that these people are at. You have to be, you know, Steven Seagal level kind of things. And Will Tracy went to a restaurant like this. Mm-hmm. That was on an island. You had to take a boat, and then the boat starts going away, and they're taking you through and telling you about all the things. And I mean, I once ended up in a hotel that was way, way too fancy for me. We got it for free. Like, our cab driver was so confused because he was taking us from a place that, like, was barely above a hostel, which is not bad in Europe, but like they were doing a lot of construction on it. It was very inexpensive. And then due to some credit card shenanigans, we're able to get 2 free nights at one of like the 100 fanciest hotels in the world. It is so uncomfortable. It is so uncomfortable being like knowing that you don't belong here. And people are still treating you like you do, but it's like they're going to kick me out at any time when they figure this out. This is the first I had like turned down service. I was like, do rich people not know how to unmake a bed? What is what is this? If for anyone who doesn't know, they literally come in and unmake your bed for you.
So that you can get in it?
Service, so you can get in it.
Well, that's absurd. Rich people are so fucking weird, man. I don't get it.
It's a completely different. We have such a hard time, especially in this country. I feel like the reality of where we're living and where like rich people live, we're not. Especially like the ultra wealthy, we do not live in the same reality as people. Do not treat you the same. Well, what we're getting is not the same, and so you know how much could a banana cost? Like
$10? $10?
God, the Air One, like $40 salad.
Oh, good Lord.
Like, oh my God.
$40 salad?
Oh, go look up Air One.
Does it have like seared ahi tuna and like gold
No, it's usually like lettuce and bullshit.
There better be fucking gold in there.
It's like lettuce and bullshit, literally. That was actually, though, something that's kind of funny that you say all that, because like when we did restaurant coverage with Geeks Who Eat, that was something that we really aimed to do, was make things accessible. Because a lot of, like, what a lot of people don't consider is that childless millennial geeks, at least prior to COVID, because I think a lot of has changed in the economy since then, obviously, but like when we started, it was 2016, 2015. Geeks have money. But what stopped them from going to fancy restaurants was not the cost. It was like what you're saying. I'm going to get kicked out because I'm not fancy enough. I'm not. And so that was something that we really tried to do, was make it so that people could have the accessibility of, hey, you can enjoy fancy food. You can cook fancy food. Like, you want to eat caviar with creme fraiche on potato chips?
Oh my God, do it.
Who the hell's going to stop you?
Yes.
No one. Do it. Enjoy. Like, one of the funniest things, I embarrassed my husband because we went to this fancy, like, little French restaurant last year, 2024, for my birthday. And it's like this little tiny restaurant, you know, independently owned. And we're there, and I'm looking at the menu, and they're bumping some, like, 70s vinyl that I didn't recognize but was awesome. And I'm like, I feel like I am in death proof right now. I want to have a shot of chartreuse because of the whole comment of, you know, that Quentin Tarantino makes of chartreuse, the only spirit so good they named a color after it. And, or vice versa. Whatever. Anyways, so I'm like, I'm going to ask for a shot of chartreuse. And he's like, don't you dare. And I'm like, why? He's like, because they don't do shots of chartreuse. Like, it is a cocktail. No. So I asked the menu. I get the waiter to come over. I'm like, come here. I'm like, it's a weird request, but can I get a shot of chartreuse? He goes, that's not a weird request at all. Would you like to see the chartreuse menu? He goes, our owners go to France and buy bottles of chartreuse. Would you like to see the menu? And my husband just looks at me like, of course what Sarah wanted exists. And so I'm like, yeah. And because it was my 40th birthday, I was like, I want the $50 shot of chartreuse.
Hell yeah.
Skippy.
And I
How
did
was it?
It was so good. And I was like, we were eating our caviar with, you know, creme fraiche on potato chips, and it was amazing. And so I say, if you want to ever go have a good time, get yourself, and you partake, obviously, get yourself a bottle of chartreuse, take a shot, eat some chips and caviar, and watch Death Proof. Best of both worlds, baby.
Also, just know that chartreuse has a very anise-forward flavor.
Yes, it is very herbal. It is medicinal.
And
medicinal.
If you think Malort is gross, you are also going to think chartreuse is gross.
Oh, see, my husband hates Malort, but loves chartreuse.
Interesting. I love Malort. And
I've never had Malort, and I'm, like, dying to try it.
Oh, come to Chicago. I keep
That's
a bottle
what
in my
everybody tells
kitchen.
me. I was taught about Malort spritzes recently.
Malort spritzes are so fucking good. Honestly, Malort in a cocktail, when it's well crafted, is fucking delicious. And, like, I genuinely enjoy doing shots of Malort. Yes, I am insane. I get it. But I don't know. When you use the flavor right, it's fucking great.
My husband and his friends before me went to a bar. This was before I was in the picture. Went to a bar, and they like to play with bartenders. They're like, okay, I want a shot that you think is anger. Like anything. The bartender literally poured them all shots of Malort.
Yeah.
That was it.
See,
no
I would have
fancy-
gone for Everclear. Like, what liquor best exemplifies anger? Everclear.
I don't know that this bar had Everclear, because this was a fancy bar.
Well, no bar should have Everclear. No human should drink Everclear.
No, it might not be legal.
Okay. Let's keep moving through this outline.
Yes. Anyway, we're eating the rich. It's great. That feeling of like, this is like, what am I doing right now? This feels very, very fancy.
Mm-hmm.
And putting that together with the age, like Seth Reese and Will Tracy are around our ages. I think Will Tracy's like born in 86.
Okay.
And this really, like, again, felt so millennial to me in the best way. Like, again, the very politically minded. I entered the job market during one of the worst times to enter the job market in the past century. So far, you know, this big upheaval, but then we also obviously have the backlash to a lot of these things, like the 99% movement, Me Too. And this movie just, again, like I said, just encapsulates all of this and does it in, as you said, Sarah, like, this is beautifully designed and shot. This time around watching it, it really reminded me, actually, as we covered last week, the cook, the thief, his wife, and her lover. I got it. Nailed it. With, like, the tableaus that they were creating that were so architectural. Mm-hmm. Less painting-wise, but more like, yeah, just gorgeous.
The shots of the food as well for each course.
Do you know why those are so beautiful?
Why?
The second unit director was Chloe Weaver, and she was the first assistant camera and second unit DP on Chef's Table.
Oh, that
so
makes
they
sense.
literally used,
Brilliant.
and they had Dominique Crenn on hand to, like, as like, someone to like guide them. And she was a consultant. That's the word I was looking for. And she owns Atelier Crème, which is a Michelin star restaurant. So like
3
they had
Michelin stars?
the foodies of foodies on staff for this film.
Wow. I love it when people really put the work in and want their art to be the best it can be. So they bring in the people who can make it the best that it can
Absolutely.
be. It's one of the things that I actually do appreciate about films with a budget is when they can do that, when they put their budget to good use. And it's not just like, here, we're going to throw half of our budget at this one actor. It's like, no, let's bring in all of these people who can shape this into the best version of itself.
Emma Stone was supposed to be Margot. Was originally cast as Margot.
I can see that, but I feel like Anya Taylor-Joy makes more sense to me in this role because I love Emma Stone. She has a certain brashness to her that I don't think would have fit the character.
I think she's almost too funny.
Mm-hmm.
Emma Stone is like good in humorous roles, but like when she's serious, it almost feels like she's playing a joke.
You're waiting for the punchline.
Exactly. And Anya Taylor-Joy, you're not waiting for the punchline with her.
No, and when she has those moments of comedy, they land so well because they're unexpected.
Yeah.
I guess the only last thing I had on here is because, Sarah, you have destination dining, which is certainly a place where they go. It was inspired by this island restaurant in Norway, Scandinavia. Oh, was it?
It's called Noma.
Noma's in Denmark.
That was Noma was a big inspiration. I'm looking here.
Yes,
and there's also a now closed Swedish restaurant called Faviken. In the menu, Hawthorne was created to evoke the very best of global fine dining destinations. According to the production notes, the production team used several famous restaurants as inspiration for the set design as well as the dishes, including the now closed Swedish restaurant Faviken, helmed by chef Magnus Nilsson, the acclaimed Catalonian restaurant El Bulli, envisioned by chef Ferran Adria, Thomas Keller's French Laundry, located in Sonoma, and the work of René Redzepi, a chef of a Danish destination restaurant, Noma.
Noma is like the one that people, like, even if you're not big into the food scene or fine dining, like, you have heard of. That was the reason why we wanted to go to a more gastronomy, Michelin, get that experience when we were in Denmark. No fucking way could we have afforded Noma. It was probably booked for years in advance, but we were able to get, a small piece of that. But that's, and them, it's kind of in Scandinavia in general, and this foraging and very, very local and bringing everything in, and then it just becoming like, having forage aspects of your food and then charging what you charge for it is mind-blowing sometimes to think of thinking about accessibility and things. But
exactly. You're eating the ocean, though.
You're eating the ocean. It's thalassic.
Oh, God.
But yeah, like destination dining became like such a thing that like even Bon Appetit had like an article about like what is destination dining, and so it is kind of wild to like consider those things.
Yeah, and especially talking about our age group and what we are and aren't willing to spend money on. Destination weddings are a thing that like, oh God, I don't want to have to pay that much money to like go on this trip for a wedding. Like I can't afford that shit. I can't imagine someone having the money for destination dining.
I'm convinced people do destination weddings because they are expected to have a large wedding but don't want to have a large wedding, and that's a way to weed out people.
Yeah.
Because nobody who wants a 400-person wedding has a destination wedding. The people who do destination weddings are the people who I think who have family who are like, oh, you have to invite, every person under the sun. but they don't want to do that. So they're like, okay, well, we'll do that, but we're going to go to, Hawaii or France or Tahiti.
I never thought of it like that. I like that.
Then people don't go.
I also just don't understand the idea of like telling someone who they have to invite to their wedding. Like, it's your fucking wedding.
My in-laws had people that we had to invite.
Yeah, no,
like
I had to do the same thing when I got married 11 years ago. Oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not married to her anymore. Anyway, I hated it. There were so many people at my wedding that I don't like and didn't want to interact with.
We kept ours to like 50 people, including us.
We had around 100, I think, and that felt like too much to me.
We paid for our wedding ourselves, and so and if we went over 50 people, we hit the next bracket of charge for the venue, and so we were like, nope, that is it. Cut off.
Nice.
I've never been married, but I used to work in sales and events very briefly right before the pandemic, and there's a lot of, where we were, there's a lot of weddings and proposals and things, so that was a big chunk of what we were doing. And so when you're like, and that brings me up the next package, I'm like, yes, it does.
We were like, no. Absolutely not.
Well, Caitlin, you have one more note here about the rise of the millennial filmmaker.
I keep talking about this just because I get very excited every time I do. Because I'm also just really excited about like how much more political power we're getting as well. And I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Healthcare, let's get it for everyone. Da, 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 da. Little things that other countries have, and it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. I've talked about this a few other times. I feel like, we hit that moment with gastro-horror right after the pandemic. But some of the movies that I also feel, even though not necessarily, like Drew Hancock isn't a millennial in the classical sense, but I don't know, this movie also reminded me of Companion. I feel pieces of it.
He's right on the verge. He was born in 1979.
The cusps.
The Zennials.
Right, the Zillennials.
No, I guess it is,
because of the X-E-N.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
I guess you could say it either way.
Yeah.
Look, it works on both ends.
The real world generation.
And
sorry.
They want their MTV. And it's just ridiculousness now. You can't get anything else on there. Anyway, I feel like a bit more biting in the commentary. Like, this isn't necessarily like trauma, but we're really get more bite with our commentary. I think social commentary coming especially out of the pandemic and the first Trump administration and everything, that it's like, it feels, to me at least, there's obviously still the trauma pieces and movies that are based on trauma, and the monster is metaphor for that. A lot of there is no metaphor here. This is what this is, and this is happening.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is a sense of meanness and biting satire, but it's directed upward, which is something that did not happen a lot before. There weren't a lot of movies that took a satirical approach to things where it was punching up. A lot of them were punching down. And
even when the wealthy were the bad guys, it was not the wealthy as a whole. It was one single bad apple,
Right, exactly.
Whereas this looks at it as, it doesn't matter where you are in the range. If you are benefiting from this wealth, you are the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of systems, I guess, I don't know. This has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes based on 336 reviews, a 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb, and a 3.5 out of 5 or a 7 out of 10 on Letterboxd. And that surprises me, because Letterboxd is usually a bit more right on things than IMDb, and that is too low of a score. This was a 4.5-star movie the first time I watched it, and the second time it went up to 5 stars, and it has remained there. I don't know. I don't know what faults people could really find with this movie.
They see themselves as the people who died, not the people. They don't see themselves as Margot. They see themselves as like Nick Holt or the Tech Bros or want to be those people.
Well, speaking of Tech Bros, let's make that money. And now we'll dig into the meat, the goo, the viscera, the chicken thigh in a section we call Enough is a Myth.
No. I've done enough.
Enough is a myth.
All right, y'all ready for some questions?
Heck yeah.
The core of the film is about the relationship between service workers and their customers and makes it clear that all service jobs, regardless of what you are doing, are essentially the same. Why do you think service workers are so often treated poorly by their customers?
You know that scene in Moulin Rouge where Ewan McGregor throws his money at Nicole Kidman and says, "I've paid my whore"? I think it's a dehumanizing aspect. Mm-hmm. This idea of like, I have paid you, you are no longer a human. You are here to serve me.
Yep.
I actually think it's slightly different. I think, and I see this like, and I think about this in terms of like Disneyland. Let's use Disneyland as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Things are so expensive now. When you go out to dinner, a meal is, you can't go to even a fast food restaurant without spending $30, $40 for more than two. You know, if you're 2+ people, it's an investment. Mm-hmm. Going to the movies for 2 people is an investment. Going
it's like
Disneyland,
$40.
You're taking out loans.
Right.
And so people, when they are charged $40, $30, I'll say $35. If it's me and my husband going to McDonald's or whatever, it's like $30, $35. You expect a $30 to $35 service. Those people are not getting paid for giving a $30 to $35 service. So I think the expectation that people have for the prices they're paying is at one level, where the expectation of how a service worker should be for the money they are making is at quite a different level. And because of that, there is animosity.
Yeah.
We still have states in the United States. We still have states here.
There are still places in the United States.
There are still places in the United States where you do not have to pay a restaurant worker minimum wage. They're expected to make up, like you can pay them $2 an hour. They're expected to make the rest of that up with tips.
Right. Yeah, I think you're both right. My answer is a combination of both of those things. Mm-hmm. I think there is a certain dehumanizing aspect to being a service worker because you are essentially doing the labor for someone else so that they don't have to do that labor. And that in itself puts distance between you and them, and it makes them see you as not equal to you. Because you're like, sorry, not you. Some people, like my fucking mother, are like, well, I'm paying you to do this thing, so you have to do this thing. And there's no thought there with the fact that you are talking to a human being who has their own life, their own feelings, their own troubles. And that's why I have always been a generous tipper. And anytime I go to a restaurant, if I can tell someone's having a bad day, I don't care if my service is a little messy. I'm going to tip them extra because I know they're having a bad fucking day. And that extra $2 or whatever that I tip them might make a difference for them. And it might make it so that at the end of the night, they go home and they feel a little bit better. And this is not me tooting my own horn. This is me saying, like, we could all stand to be a little kinder to each other, treat each other with more humanity. And it just makes me really sad how often people are mistreated in the service industry.
Yes, it is a combination. I think because I have seen it in multitudes of ways. I've worked in tourism since like 2008. Mm-hmm. I mean, and prior to that, I was working at a hotel, which was not the highest class hotel. I think it is, definitely there is that disconnect between like what people are making and like our tipping culture here is wild because this does not exist in other places.
Yeah, most countries you don't tip, and it's like in Japan, it's considered rude. To try to tip. Like, because you're saying, oh, the place you work doesn't pay you enough.
You don't have enough. You look like you don't have enough money.
Yeah, it's abominable that is still such a touch point in our culture. It's gross.
But it's also like it's interesting because our tipping culture is kind of also how people look, if you think about it, at like universal health care, because people will always be like, oh, well, they pay higher taxes in those other countries. Okay, but they get stuff for it. So if we pay people higher money at restaurants and we don't have to tip and it's already worked in, you're not thinking about it. But the United States has our rugged individualism, and we have to just like make people think it's their choice. Like it's such a weird thing. And in essence, you're not really paying more. If you have a universal health care with more taxes, you're paying probably less than anything else. Because our taxes still cover, underinsured people. And it's the same with tipping. If you just factored that into the cost of your burger or your meal or whatever instead, but didn't call it out. Like, that's what people don't like, is they don't want to have to feel they're forced to pay for it. They want the option to choose.
Of course. I want to choose whether or not to be an asshole. Well, speaking of assholes, men and women are treated very differently throughout the course of the film, and this seems to be in line with the film's other themes. What do you think they're saying about misogyny? And Sarah, I like that you just wrote down your answer here. So go ahead and tell me about your thoughts.
Again, I have a lot of friends in the restaurant industry. I did restaurant coverage for a bit for my website. Like, there is so much misogyny in the restaurant industry. And if you ever go listen to Final Girls Feast, I suggest listening to our House of Spoils episode, because we had a girlfriend of mine on and she owns her own wine bar now. But she spent years in the restaurant industry, working in restaurants, doing food photography for restaurant menus. The scene between Slowick and Catherine is indicative of this. Like, his whole treatment of her. But what I love about that scene is that he acknowledges his misogyny. And he doesn't do it for like an attaboy or oh shit, I got caught. He does it because he's trying to tie up his loose ends, and he feels that he recognizes how the restaurant industry made him a terrible person. It took everything from him. It became the cause of his ruin of his art. Like, and so I think that's where this movie addresses that misogyny in an interesting way, because it ends up being Catherine's choice that everyone dies. This was not Slowick's plan. This was Catherine's plan. And so she's also destroying the misogynistic world of this. The old husband, the boomer husband, cheats. The tech bros are assholes. John Leguizamo's character, it treats his assistant like shit.
I wrote you a negative recommendation to Sony. I know. You CC'd me on it.
like every man in this is a shitbag. Up to some point. But Slowick is the only one who wants to answer for his crimes and does, which is why my hot take, as I mentioned earlier, Slowick is an anti-hero.
Oh, 100%. I absolutely agree with that.
And it fits because at this time, we had Loki coming out, and everyone was loving Loki. And, granted, Slowick didn't want to create mass genocide. He just wanted to create fancy food. So there's a little bit of I feel a little bit closer to Slowick than I do Loki.
Yeah, fair.
But that's what this time around, when he was making the burger, and I'm getting all like misty thinking about it. When he made the burger for Margot/Aaron, and you can see his little smirk as he's making the burger, because he's cute. He's making something he loves. He's passionate about. This is like, he realizes she gets it. And so this is why, like, I think that, well, yes, homicide of assholes, probably not how I'd handle it. I think that Slowick, in a way, gets his redemption.
Yeah, and I think it's very clear during that scene where Catherine is introducing the dish, the fact that he allows her to stab him in the thigh, wipe the blood on his jacket, and then apologizes to her. It's so genuine. And it's like, he does not try to fight back. He fully acknowledges, I deserve this. And the recurring theme of people being stabbed in the thigh with scissors, which is what he did to his own father. I love that through line. I love it because he really seems to have an understanding of the waves these types of actions have in people's lives, and how misogyny itself is such a pervasive and toxic thing. And yeah, I love that you brought that up.
Even his death, he knows he can't go back. He knows there's no way forward past. That's why I think he's redeemed, because he knows that he can't just apologize and go back to like being the burger chef. Right. He's already made too much mess. Mm-hmm. But his redemption is saying, Margot, I see what you're saying. You are one of us. Go. Get out. Take your burger to go. Here's your gift bag. Mm-hmm. I'm letting you go.
And that ties into my next question, which is that in what I consider the film's greatest twist, he allows her to leave. And yeah, I think it's because he sees her as someone who really does get it. She asks him for a cheeseburger because she knows that is going to bring him this small bit of joy that has been missing from his life for so long. And it's such a beautiful moment because as soon as she asks for it, his mouth curves upward genuinely for the first time in the movie.
And when he's asking her, like, what kind of cheese and, like, you know, all the, like, crinkle cutter julienne is,
yeah. Like, he's being an excited
She was correct,
nerd.
by the way.
American cheese
Crinkle
is the
cut
vastly superior burger cheese.
Yes.
Hundo.
American and crinkle cut. She nailed it.
Yep. No onions for me, but that's okay.
Onions. He says it a few times, like, you don't belong here. Mm-hmm. And when she goes against, like, that cardinal rule of, I mean, when you get up to that level of dining, yeah, you are not making substitutions. You are not sending anything back. It's so weird, again, like, class and how you dine and, like, the expectations. In a dive, you send it back, whatever. You get up to this where you're paying way more money for something and you cannot send it back. Yeah. You know, she doesn't belong here. Yeah. This isn't her thing. She didn't want to be here. She's here under really shitty circumstances, Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is how dehumanized she. He paid to bring her to a place he knew she was going to die.
Right, because he sees her as less than because she's a sex worker and he is paying her to be there. I'm not going to go on a whole tangent about how poorly sex workers are treated, but everyone, support sex workers. If you have friends who are sex workers, support them any way you can. Be there for them. Sex work is hard work. And it's an important job. I keep almost saying important fucking job, and I realize that...
right.
Yeah.
It's a fucking important job.
Yes, there we go. Thank you.
And one of the oldest professions.
It's true. You know? And, like, I feel like when people say that, they say it in a way that, like, it's one of the oldest... No, it's one of the oldest professions.
Literally, historically, it is one of the oldest fucking professions.
Right.
Literally.
And there's a reason that there's always been a demand for it. So, you know, if you're going to engage with a sex worker, do it in a way that you are treating them as a person, not as a fucking object. And not as a fucking object.
Yeah, they have dolls for that. If you want an object, they sell that.
They have those.
That exists. You don't have to be with a person.
Just that whole scene with Catherine, and again, I was thinking about, when you were talking, I started to think about Mario Batali. Exactly. And that
he liked one of my recipes, though, which makes me so sad. Like, he ate it on air on the Chew and liked it. And I'm like, now I can't even have that as my claim to fame, jackass.
Right. I say racist and, men ruin everything.
Wait, he was racist too? I just thought he was
No, he wasn't racist. I thought
white supremacists ruin everything. Also racist, and I was like, Jesus gosh.
No, just the sexual assault.
Just an asshole. Just a misogynist. Yeah.
And this
misogynist chefs in the industry.
Yeah.
2017, 2018. I'm looking now at the allegations, and it is just
he was also in a horror movie.
Yep.
He was in a gastro-horror movie, believe it or not. I think it's called. I'm looking at my thing because I technically own it. I think it's Hard Boiled or something.
He's from Seattle. He had restaurants here. That was a thing when and his holdings right before the pandemic. He sold them all off in 2019. And so he was, at least for me, one of the big people. While you're talking, I was like, oh, this was also happening in a very similar time, just within 5 years of this movie. And even though Catherine is being paid and is there, how she is treated similarly, and how, we're all kind of just scrambling to get to the top, and in that scramble to the top, you're oppressing the people below you. He knows what it's like to work in that, as making burgers. He's probably had people scream at him multiple times, just that level of artistry. And then you get to that level of artistry, and what do people want to say? They just want to critique it the whole time and say they could do it better. Yep. When they have never fucking even tried.
I think we've filled up on questions, and we've even probably had some dessert. So it's time to play a game.
Hello. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game.
Okay, Caitlin, what's our game this week?
Oh, So I actually made a game this week. I'm very excited about it.
Okay.
Right here it says, what up? But I'm actually going to call it Which Bro? So I'm going to ask you a few questions. And maybe a couple of lines. And you're going to have to tell me which bro this was. I will give everyone make this a little easier. I do have everyone's name and the actors that played them.
Okay.
So you can at least know their names.
Yeah, because it's Bryce, David, and what's the...
Soren.
So, okay.
Rob Yang plays Bryce, Arturo Castro plays Soren, and Mark St. Cyr is David.
Okay.
Dave Lormer, he's the only one who gets the last name of the group.
All
right. So those are our three. Here we go. Easy one. Which bro's birthday is it, or is it not?
Bryce.
Bryce's birthday.
Yes. All right. It's a fucking taco, okay? It can't hurt you. Which bro said this?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Soren.
I also think it's Soren.
Correct!
Okay, cool.
Woo. Okay. This line is so funny to me. It's, which bro said, the door is guarded, but it could be a play.
David? Is it David?
I'm going to go with David.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, cool.
It could be a play. Which bro has a chef at home named Ricardo?
Oh. I'm going to say that's Soren.
Yeah.
They're both nailing this right now. I love it. We all love getting nailed.
Autism.
The fact that I didn't even know any of their names.
I'll be honest. I'm on Letterboxd looking at their photos. That's what helped me.
Fair.
Very good. Very good. All right. And then who didn't want to pull that card, but did want them to know who they were?
I think that was Bryce.
Didn't want to pull this card, but you know who we are, right?
I feel like that is Soren.
May is correct. It was Bryce.
Dang.
Excellent.
All right. And my last one is, out of the three bros, who has the most lines?
Oh, definitely Soren.
Yeah.
It is Soren had 39 lines, Bryce had 24, and Dave had 16.
Poor Dave.
He was definitely the one that I had the hardest time finding quotes for, because I was going through 16, and a lot of them were just like, what? Bro? I was like, that's not helpful.
Okay, well, yay, we did it.
You nailed Witch Bro.
I'm sorry, I nailed Witch Bro? Well, speaking of nailing things, I think this movie, like I said before, nails the balance between being tense and being fun. And I think overall, it is absolutely a pleaser. Unless you are one of these people in the movie, unless this movie is skewering you, you have no reason not to enjoy it. It's not gory, so it's not like a hard horror movie. It has horrific elements. The subject matter is fucked up, but overall, it's a fun ride to go on that looks gorgeous and especially sounds incredible. Thank you, Colin Stetson.
I agree. I think the only reason you could have to hate this is if you feel like you're one of the people who
Personally
died.
attacked.
And I've had that argument with people, because I've had some people on my Facebook who were like, I didn't like the menu. I was like, I wonder why. Why? Tell me, pray tell, why?
What tax bracket are you in?
Yeah, like, Are you perhaps not a Margot?
You belong back here with the shit shovelers.
Did you not eat a cheeseburger after? Because
I wish I hadn't already eaten dinner tonight, because now all I want is a fucking cheeseburger.
I'm with you. I'm like, oh, I have food to cook, but I'm like,
I wish I could eat beef. This is going to be my final thought. How dare Tyler do that to that lamb?
That lamb
was delicious.
so dang undercooked. Like, how could you not know that was undercooked? How? He watches enough Food Network that both sides should at least be brown.
Well, as I say, fuck you, Tyler.
Tyler's bullshit.
Let's wrap up with what awaits us next time.
Don't you see? He's got us now. Okay, this is exactly what he wants. We can't go to the police, not now. He's made sure of that. He's just out there and he's watching us and waiting. What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
That brings us to the end of our episode. Thanks so much for joining us on this journey, fellow diners. If you like what you hear, please leave us a rating and review wherever you can, because it helps more people find the show and it makes us all tingly inside. You can find us on Instagram at Pleasers and Punishers, and on Blue Sky at Pleasers Punishers. You can also email us at pleaserspunisherspodcast@gmail.com. You can find me on Blue Sky and Letterboxd at Everson Poe. You can find my music on Ampwall, Bandcamp, and streaming services as Everson Poe. The production finish date for my records once again got pushed back, so now it's December 18th, and I am going insane. And you can hear me podcasting on Tender Subject and Slayerfest 98.
Me slowly lose my mind on the podcast Tender Subject and Slayerfest 98.
Correct. Caitlin, where can people find you?
So I can be found on Blue Sky and Instagram at Caitlin of the North and Cat of the North on Letterboxd. Very exciting news for people who listened last week. 48-hour film project was in Seattle last couple weeks. As you know, if you listened last week, we were nominated for 7 awards. We ended up winning 4 of those. Yay! Very exciting. So we did the Seattle 48-hour horror film project, and we won Bloodiest, which if we didn't, I was going to be very upset. That's all I'm going to say for now. We won Bloodiest. We won Best Dialogue.
Excellent.
I think just maybe best use of it. The line we had to put in, we tied for that one. We won Best Actor.
Which is you.
Me.
Because you're the only person in the movie.
I was the only person in the movie. So I won Best Actor, which was really, really exciting. And then we won Best Of.
That's just fucking incredible.
So the movie is now going to Lisbon.
Cool.
In March.
Do you get to go?
Well, get to's a funny term.
Do you have to go?
I get to pay to go. The plan is that we will be in Lisbon for this. I definitely know our fearless team leader and director, Melissa Woodrow, will be there. Very, very exciting. And once I know where people can see that and we kind of have our shit more together, because this just happened last Monday. Mm-hmm. It's been a whirlwind. I'll put that online.
Excellent. And Sarah, where can you be found?
I am everywhere at Sarah Stubbs Says. Like, I'm so easy. Final Girls Feast is the podcast everywhere. Geeks Who Eat on all socials. And then the website is 2 Geeks Who Eat. But we're not super active, so just check socials, because that's probably the quickest place to find me. I'm all over. I'm just not on X.
Thank you again so much for joining us. This was such a fun conversation. You brought some really interesting stuff in that we probably wouldn't have brought in. So I'm really glad that you were able to do this.
That's what happens when you look at everything from the food side of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll definitely have you back on for another food-centric movie sometime. So keep an eye out for that invite, and we promise we won't turn you into a human s'more.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Unless you want to be.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if I really want to be an offensive assault on the human palate, personally, but
you'll be transformed by fire. Well, speaking of eating people, I don't know. I've actually never seen this movie, surprisingly. Next week's episode will be on Jean-Pierre Genet's post-apocalyptic culinary delight, Delicatessen.
We're going from eating the rich to eating the poor.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to talk about that. But until then, do some aftercare, clean your silverware, set healthy boundaries, and
thank you for dining at Hawthorne.